here. We're talking about the East now, where you got Michigan, LSU, you got Colorado, Georgetown, those guys, Maryland, Alabama. How do you feel about these games over here?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. Congratulations, first of all, to the Terrapins. I did not think they were going to beat UConn at all. UConn, great team out of the Big East. So that was an upset that I did not see happening. Like I just completely blanked on that one, but they made it.
Had to bring out the shirt,
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I think Alabama is the best team in this region, though.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And I think they showed it. Like, they are good. They run up and down the floor. They shoot threes. They dunk the ball. They play good defense. Like, they're so fun to watch.
How do you beat a team that shoots 18 threes and makes them? Like, it wasn't Alabama out there. It was the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah,
you had
literally.
the Splash Brothers.
Yeah, it's 2015, 2016 Golden State.
They don't miss. It's a drive, kick out every time. Every time. Watch the game. You got a drive, kick out. Some dudes hit a three every time.
Yeah, and then you got one of the biggest upset, probably the second biggest upset of the tournament, Abilene Christian over Texas. Very controversial call at the end of the game. I don't think it was a foul. What about you?
I don't think it was a foul either.
Yeah, I think it's March though. Like you got to give the little guy a little bit of help. So I thought Texas was going to go decently far, but obviously they didn't. But Alabama over Iona, completely expected. Maryland over UConn, not even a little bit. I was shocked when I saw that. I was watching that game, and then UConn was ahead, and then Maryland pulled away, and I was like, it's Big Ten versus Big East right there for you. That's all you can really say about it.
Yep.
UCLA over BYU, I expected whatever team won that playing game to beat BYU, 100%.
I didn't think BYU was
I didn't think they were all that. They got in because they played Gonzaga well. Florida State, I've been high on them the entire time. I told you that. I have them in my Elite Eight. They got Scotty Barnes, great player. I took Colorado over Georgetown. I know you didn't, but that sucks for you, man. I don't know what to say.
I was not expecting that to be that big of a blowout.
Yeah, no, it was that. I wasn't expecting it to be that big either, because I think Colorado's so overrated. And you got the Bonnies and LSU. I loved LSU in this game. What about you?
I definitely had LSU winning that one. I didn't see the Bonnies pulling that
I mean,
one
LSU has so much talent. They have like one of the best pure scorers. My friend described that he's a bad shot maker. Like he makes really good shots. He makes shots, but they're bad shots. He takes bad shots, and I kind of agree. But he makes them, so like you can't really say anything.
Yeah.
Then they had Trenton Wofford, great player. I think he's a senior, and who's the last guy? Number one, I forgot what his name is. Then you have Michigan, Texas Southern. Michigan expected. What'd you think about the round of 64 in the East?
Bit shockers there. I was expecting Georgetown to definitely be a shocker there, come out on top, beat Colorado, but they didn't get the job done, and it just shows that anything can happen in March, really, because they blowed out in the Big East tournament, beat all these teams. They beat Creighton, Seton Hall, and they beat Villanova. They beat these top seeds that are in the tournament still going now, and they just lose badly to Colorado, Pac-12 team. So I wasn't expecting that. Alabama definitely expected. The way they play is just great. Maryland, I said it before. I was not expecting us to win this game. I didn't know if we were
not
going
even a little bit. I was shocked.
I mean, I had hope. I was cheering my guys on, but I did not expect us to play this well. Eric Ayala played a great game. Aaron Wiggins. When our guys show up, like Darryl, Eric Wiggins, Aaron Wiggins, Eric Ayala, when they show up, we're gonna play good. So that's what happened there. Texas and Appalachian Christian, not expected at all. Thought Texas would come out on top of that. That kind of ruined me. Bad call. Messed it up. Broken bracket. But Florida State, I expected that. Florida State's a great team. LSU, I really didn't see the Bonnies doing much there. And then Michigan, I knew they would win one because they're a great team, great shooting team. They got Wagner, who's a great shooter. Eli Brooks. I mean, I watched Eli Brooks in high school because he went to a high school near me. I watched him score 2,000 points in the gym right in front of me. So I knew Eli was a baller.
Yeah, you got Eli Brooks. You got Hunter Dickinson.
Hunter Dickinson.
Massive behemoth of a man. He's huge.
Like, how do you stop Hunter Dickinson?
Literally.
He's, 6'11", 7 foot.
I think he's 7'1", and he's probably 250, 260 pounds. He's just a huge man. Maybe even 300. I don't know. But Getting on to the round of 32, we had Michigan LSU. I honestly thought LSU could have won this game.
I definitely thought LSU
I think they have such a good high-powered offense, and I don't think Livers was playing. So I thought that LSU could come out, but Michigan proved everybody wrong. Last Big Ten team standing, which is complete shock to me. I think the Big Ten was way too good.
Yeah.
Then you got Florida State, Colorado. Florida State wins. I expected that. UCLA and Abilene Christian. I mean, obviously UCLA is going to win, but I mean, I had Texas winning over UCLA. Goes back to the bad foul call, but and then Alabama, Maryland. Alabama just worked Maryland.
I mean,
bad.
That game was just. I had to stop watching after a while because it was just. We started off the game, we're up. I think it was like 20 to 16. We were up at least a good amount, 8-6, and then put our bench in. Like I said, our bench doesn't do the greatest job. Put Reese in, put Jaquarius Hamilton in, put Galen Smith in, and then things just went downhill from there. They were out rebounding us offensively. They were driving, kicking out, hitting all their threes. It just wasn't good. I mean, we didn't play too bad. I mean, we didn't play a bad game. It's just they played a better game than we did. And then UCLA, Christian definitely had UCLA winning that one. I mean, I had Texas beating UCLA as well, but definitely had UCLA winning that one. I think, like you said, that foul call, they got lucky and won that one. Florida State over Colorado. I mean, I really didn't see Colorado making it far. Florida State's a great team. Michigan and LSU kind of shocked me. I thought Michigan would maybe lose this game because they don't have Livers. And I was watching Michigan when they lost Eli Brooks. They kind of went downhill, took a step back, and started losing games. They didn't play as well.
Yeah.
So I thought when they lost Livers, it might be a struggle as well. So I really didn't think they would come out on top of that one, but they proved everybody wrong, showed up, and played great, and just came out on top of LSU there.
All right, well, real quick, let's get to our final predictions for the Sweet 16 in the East region and then the Elite Eight. So in Michigan, Florida State, I have Florida State beating Michigan. I think they're way too good. I just think that they're gonna overpower them. And then I have Alabama beating UCLA, and then Alabama beating Florida State to get to the Final Four.
I think I have Michigan. I can see Florida State beating Michigan, but I definitely think Michigan comes out on top of that one, beats Florida State. Alabama definitely beats UCLA, and I can definitely see Alabama upsetting Michigan and making it to the Final Four, and maybe even beating Gonzaga to make it to the final.
I have Alabama in my final. They're such a good team, and they've been not underrated, but they haven't been top of the line for the entire year. So that's all we have for this segment, and we'll be back to talk about the Midwest region.
Guess who's back? It is Sister Jean and the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. What a game, what an upset. This team might take it all the way.
They could, but let's talk about the round of 64 before we get into that. First, we got Illinois over Drexel. Expected, 1 over 16. Only happened once ever. Loyola Chicago over Georgia Tech. Once again, Loyola Chicago was so underseeded. It's insane. They should have been at least a 6. I think they probably should have been a 5. But
I think they could have been a 4 at the point.
Yeah, honestly, they could have. But yeah, I expected them to beat Georgia Tech. Oregon State, the hottest team in basketball. They are hot. They won the Pac-12, went in the first round of 64 over Tennessee by 14. I had them going. I don't know if you did, but
I did not.
Then we have Oklahoma State and Liberty. I like Liberty in this game. Cade Cunningham showed up though, balled out, won the game, and made it to the round of 32. San Diego State and Syracuse. We had Syracuse over San Diego State. Expected for me, maybe not for you. Again, West Virginia over Morehead State. Thought that was going to happen. And then we got Rutgers over Clemson. Rutgers is the most fun team to watch. 100%.
Yeah, you got Young at the point guard.
I mean, they have so many good players, and they're either so good that nobody can beat them, or they're so awful that they lose to everybody. So you never know what you're going to get. So it's so fun to watch them. Houston and Cleveland State. Houston wins that. Once again, that was expected. What are your thoughts on the round of 64 in the Midwest?
Expected, other than maybe Syracuse and Oregon State. I mean, I expected Illinois to win it. Clearly, you got Io, Coffee, you got those guys. I expected them to win that. Loyola Chicago, definitely expected there. I mean, you always got to go with Sister Jean for the first round, maybe even more. Oregon State and Tennessee was not expected at all. I did not think Oregon State would play the way they did, and they just shocked me in the
I
road.
I liked Oregon State a lot because Oregon State was so hot. They just won the Pac-12, and then they came into the tournament. And Tennessee has not been very good, like, as of late. Like, opposed to, like, Georgetown and Colorado. Like, Colorado's been good, like, as of late. Georgetown just got lucky. Oregon State got good. Tennessee hasn't been good. I loved Oregon State. And they're making a little run here, so that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens there. And then you got Oklahoma State. Definitely expected them to win. Cade Cunning, I think, is a great player. Definitely could go in the draft. So I definitely have
Yeah,
them
he should be the
winning.
number one pick, 100%.
Syracuse and San Diego State. I did not pick Syracuse, and I definitely regret going against Buddy
Boeheim, Jim
Boeheim.
Boeheim, the whole crew, you know? I mean, Syracuse is such a good tournament team. It's hard to bet against them, you know?
They have too many shooters.
Too many shooters. The thing with them is that they get that 2-3 zone, like, working in the paint, and, like, nobody's seen that all year. Like, teams in the ACC, yes, they've seen it, but, like, if they're playing at San Diego State, nobody's seen that. So you get, a ton of long guys playing a 2-3 zone. You don't know how to play against it because they're going to change it up, like, based on who they're playing, obviously, like, just game planning.
Yeah.
And then that's, like, every single time they get in the tournament, this happens. They're a high seed, and their opponent doesn't see that coming. They blow them out, and then they make a run.
Yeah.
Rookie mistake on your part, Kobe.
Definitely. And then I had San Diego State going far. I don't know why I did that one. That was a terrible decision there. You know, next year I'm gonna think smart on that one and look more into the stats because that was just bad. But then you got West Virginia, Morehead State. You know, West Virginia expected to win that one, of course. Rutgers and Clemson, great game. Watch that one. Had Clemson winning it, shouldn't have went against Rutgers in New Jersey there. You know, they shut me up.
The thing with that game is that I think Rutgers was up like 12 or 13 with like 8 minutes left. Like that's what I'm saying. It's so fun to watch because they can just blow a lead in three minutes
so
like
quickly.
that so easily.
I mean, once we get to this next game, we can definitely talk about how they did that.
100%, yeah.
And then Houston and Cleveland State. And then speaking of Rutgers blowing a lead, I mean, you're up against Houston. I mean, what was it? I watched that game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think they were up. They were definitely up double digits. I think they were up like 10 or 11.
It was like 4 minutes left or something like that.
Yeah, like no time left at all, and then just blew it completely.
They blew the lead late too. But I definitely gotta figure out how they did that. It was.
Yeah, I mean, like they have some really good players too. Like they have Geo Baker, but Geo Baker just choked it at the end of the game, and I was so sad because I really wanted Rutgers to win. Houston, the thing with Houston is that like they're always in the tournament, but like you never know how good they are because they play in the American Conference. So like, I'm over here thinking like Quentin Grimes and co are not that good, but obviously they're proving people wrong. They beat Rutgers. They came back on them. I still think Syracuse beats them next round, but I don't know for sure.
I definitely think Syracuse gets on top of that one.
Yeah, but to keep going in the round of 32, we got Syracuse and West Virginia. I had Syracuse winning this one. Like I said, they're like just slapping these teams in the mouth with a 2-3, and nobody's really expecting it. And the next game we had Oregon State and Oklahoma State. Oregon State wins by 10. Cade Cunningham goes home. How do you feel about that one?
That one hurt a bit. I had Cade Cunningham making it far, getting the win there, and then just Oregon State shocked us all, got the win, so that was unexpected there. I thought that was wild there.
Yeah, definitely. And then probably the second biggest upset of the round of 32 right here. Loyola Chicago beats Illinois by 13. I mean,
Unexpected. Very
did not
unexpected.
expect it at all, but I don't know why so many, like nobody expected this to happen, but like then once it happened, it's like, oh yeah, like they were really good like 2-3 years ago, and they made the Final Four, and they have all of those kids on the team as seniors now, so they're probably gonna be pretty good. And they have Sister Jean, who's just like a menace to society. She's like a witch.
So before the game, Sister Jean had a prayer, right?
Yeah.
So they said Sister Jean called out Illinois' stats before the game during the prayer, and I guess it worked because then they blew them out, knew all the stats, knew what they were gonna do right and wrong, and just wiped the floor with Illinois.
She's a menace to society. You know.
She just might be.
I think she might be a witch. Like she's a nun, but she could be a witch. Like she might be doing some crazy stuff like magic. I don't know. But looking into the Sweet 16 in the Midwest region, first game we have is Loyola Chicago, Oregon State, which is just so unexpected. Like this might be the best region because we have an 8, 11, and a 12 all in it in the Sweet 16. I got Loyola Chicago winning this game now.
I do too.
100%. I think
Definitely.
they're gonna. Oregon State is hot though, hottest team in the country.
I see Kurtwig, I think, looking at that Illinois Loyola Chicago, Kurtwig played better as a big than Coffee did. Coffee was like out of shape, didn't seem right. Kurtwig just biting him, made buckets over him. I think
And then like he just makes like tap passes and it's so fun to watch.
Syracuse and Houston, Syracuse I got Houston winning this one. The guard they have, I think his name's like Gerard. He played with a bad hip.
Joe Girard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Played with a bad hip. And he is literally the life of that team there. And I think they come out on top and win that one. But I think Loyola Chicago makes it to the Final Four. It's those two teams. Loyola Chicago comes out on top.
Well, I say Syracuse beats Houston here. I made a mistake there. Joe Girard's on Syracuse. I don't know who the guard you're talking about in Houston is, but Joe Girard's on Syracuse. They have Joe Girard, Buddy Boeheim. They play the 2-3 zone. Houston's not going to expect it. Quentin Grimes is going home. I have Syracuse and Loyola Chicago. I want to say Syracuse just based off of pure experience because they have Jim Boeheim, who's like an all-time great coach, and then they have like Buddy. They have they have a history of being in the tournament and going far. But Loyola Chicago is fun to watch.
Oh, of course.
And
I love that team.
I really would love for them to go to another Final Four and just make another Cinderella story. So, for my own emotional well-being, I'm gonna take Loyola Chicago here to go to the Final Four.
I agree with you on that one. And that's all we have for this one here. We'll be back for the next segment and talk about the South. And you already know who's in the South: Oral Roberts and the team that shocked the world. We are back here again to talk about the South, Baylor, Hartford. That was of course a gimme there.
Yeah, 100% expected. Baylor's my national champion. I think they have the easiest path to the Final Four now, I think, out of anybody. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Next game we have North Carolina and Wisconsin. Wisconsin wins this. Not gonna lie, I was a little surprised. I mean, Wisconsin's a good team. They're from the Big Ten, but I think North Carolina's so rich. They have Roy Williams. They have a great team. I thought they were gonna win, like Caleb Love. They have a great team. But Wisconsin gives them a little upset, 9-8. So what do you think about that one?
I definitely went with Wisconsin 100% here. North Carolina, Duke, the ACC teams just have not been playing like they usually do. Usually they are the teams that manhandle people in the tournament, manhandle people in the ACC, but this year they just weren't there. The ACC tournament they lost to, I think, Florida State in their game, so I definitely knew that they weren't the same team as they usually are. And I knew Wisconsin was the better team here. The Big Ten's the better conference this year, I think so. So I definitely saw that Wisconsin would beat North Carolina here.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And then Dimitri Trice, they just put up 85 points like nothing, so unexpectedly. I think Dimitri Trice has been in college for 8 years.
Oh, probably.
Easily.
He's a Coleman pro basketball.
He's been so long, and I think that his brother Travis Trice was on Michigan State. I'm pretty sure he was a senior 5 years ago when Dimitri Trice was a freshman. But I don't know. What am I supposed to know? Next game we have Winthrop and Villanova. I had Winthrop here, but I'm not surprised Villanova won.
I had Villanova winning. Losing Colin was definitely big in that, but those guys still showed up, balled out. You got James Earl Robinson, Justin.
I love how Earl Robinson plays.
He's
so good, great big. But yeah, I was thinking just because Gillespie was out, I haven't watched much Nova this year, but I didn't think they were gonna win. Took a little 12-5 upset there. You gotta take a couple.
I took mine, did not end well.
Next game we have Purdue and the North Texas Mean Green.
Oh my gosh.
This was a great game. I just love watching these small conference schools win. So North Texas winning. I don't know what conference they're from, but it's just so cool to see. So what do you think about that game?
I had Purdue winning. I had Purdue at least going to the Sweet 16, and they just didn't play like I thought they would play. It was just terrible. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what's wrong with this program over there, but that was just terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Big Ten really in general. It's just everybody just fell off completely. Next game we have Texas Tech and Utah State. I had Texas Tech here. I think it's no surprise they won.
Yeah.
Chris Beard is like such a good tournament coach. He's won like, I think he's been to the tournament 3 times and he's won like 8 games. That's absurd. That's so crazy. So I took Texas Tech winning the first round. What about you?
Oh, I had Texas Tech winning that game too. I didn't think Utah State was gonna play good. I mean, what conference is Utah State in? Are they in Pac-12 too?
They might. No, I don't think they're in Pac-12. They might be in the West Coast with Gonzaga and St. Mary's.
Well, I knew that Utah State wasn't gonna play good there, so I had Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Then Arkansas and Colgate. I definitely had Arkansas.
I had Arkansas's first, and but I got it was a nerve-wracking game. I mean, Colgate was winning at half, I think, and I'm pretty sure they like stayed in it for the entire game, and Arkansas pulled away at the end.
Yeah.
This next game, Florida Virginia Tech, first game, kicks off the tournament. Best way to kick off the tournament. It was amazing. You get
3 to tie it.
3 to tie it, go to overtime. Florida ends up winning, but like that's March right there. Like that's how you start it off. And then something that is even more March.
Oh my God, Roberts.
Oral Roberts Golden Eagles.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought they're beating Ohio State?
You and your guy called it.
I mean, yeah, my friend called it. Ohio State. That's they're gonna live like that's gonna be on their record forever. Like they're never gonna live this down.
Lose to Oral Roberts.
Oral
That's a
Roberts.
2 seed.
Yeah.
And then the reason they lost, I mean, Washington. I mean, 3 opportunities, you blow all 3. of
All
them.
3.
All 3.
All 3. It's crazy. I mean, he choked hard. I think they have a lot of people returning next year. I think Ohio State's gonna be good again next year, but maybe we see a little Virginia losing to UMBC come back with a national title because they got help from the refs. Like that kind of run next year. You never know.
That
But
was a terrible run. Auburn should have won the game.
not only does Oral Roberts win in the round of 64, they go to the round of 32, play Florida, play Trey Mann, play Scotty Lewis, and they beat them by 3 points. So now Oral Roberts, the 15 seed who nobody thought was going to go this far, is in the Sweet 16. What are your thoughts?
I'm in shock. It's March. This what happens. I mean, I had Florida winning this game, and they were up, and just I don't know what happened. They were like 10 at one point, and then Oral Roberts just showed up, and just dominated Florida and got the win there. So that was a big shocker to me. It was not expected at all. But Oral Roberts is here to stay.
Yeah, and then we got Oral Roberts in the Sweet 16. Next game we have Arkansas and Texas Tech. Arkansas was up big, right, for a little bit. I think they were up like 10 or something like that. And then Texas Tech came back, gave them a little bit of a run for the money. Arkansas ended up pulling it out. I thought Texas Tech was going to win this game. Kind of a shock to me. What about you?
I had Arkansas winning. I thought Arkansas was the better team, and they kind of played that way for a bit. And Texas Tech fought back, but just couldn't finish.
Yeah, I mean, Texas Tech, you just got to, like I said, you got to trust Chris Beard. It's 3 tournaments, 8 wins. Now 9, I think. Next up, we got Villanova and North Texas.
Villanova was expected to win. I wasn't thinking North Texas was going big on that one.
But, I mean, I would have loved North Texas to win. I think it would have been just another great story right there. Like, imagine having a 15 seed and a 13 seed. Oh, my gosh, it would be beautiful. Baylor beats Wisconsin handily. They dunked the ball so much in that game, like, absurd amount. Literally just
Baylor manhandled Wisconsin.
Yeah, every single possession was a dunk. It was crazy. So now looking forward to the Sweet 16 in the South region, we have Baylor and Villanova, Arkansas's Oral Roberts. Kobe, what are your predictions?
Definitely Baylor over Villanova. I think Baylor's just a way stronger team, more aggressive. And with Villanova losing Colin, I think Baylor takes advantage of that. I think here we get a 10-point win by Baylor, 10-point plus win by Baylor.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think Baylor's going to dominate the rest of the way to the Final Four. I mean, they have the easiest pathway. Who knows what? Baylor's going to win. I think Baylor beats Villanova. But then you got Arkansas's Oral Roberts. Who knows what the Golden Eagles are going to do against the Razorbacks? You know,
They could shock the world again.
They could. I mean, I think too many people are on the hype train for it to be a shock now. Like, I guess it would be a shock because they're beating a 2, a 7, and a 3. But like, they win. People are going to be so happy. It's going to be like the most fun thing. They're going to be in the Elite 8, and I mean, I really hope it happens. I don't see it happening. I think Baylor beats Arkansas, and I think Baylor goes to the final and eventually wins the national championship.
I think Baylor does the same thing, beats Arkansas, but knowing Oral Roberts now, you don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, the one dude, Abmas, the leading scorer in the nation, he is nice. He's really good. Like he went like 5 for 7 in the first half the other day against Ohio State. from three, like he's good. He's really good.
Everyone's trying to figure out how he ended up there, like not a Power 5 school.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him transferring, but like also, why? You're gonna be the king of that school.
Oh,
Like you made a Sweet 16 run with Oral Roberts, you're gonna be the king of the school.
But yeah, I have Baylor winning that, Arkansas winning, then Baylor taking it to the national championship and maybe beating Gonzaga there, or I'm thinking Baylor sees Loyola Chicago or Alabama. You never know. One of those.
I think we could get Baylor, Loyola Chicago, Gonzaga, Alabama. I think Alabama and Baylor win that respectively, and then Baylor wins against Alabama and wins the national championship for their school.
I do too. And that's what we have for this segment. We're going to come back and talk about the NBA trade deadline. We're back again here to talk about the NBA trade deadline. And there's some moves there. What kind of shocked you there, Sean?
Honestly, it kind of went as expected. You got the stars that you thought were going to get traded. They got traded. The biggest thing that I saw, and this pains me to see as a Knicks fan a little bit, because like the teams like the Heat, the Bulls that are on like the 10th seed, 7th seed, they're loading up. Like the Bulls traded for Nikola Vucevic. They're going to try and make a run with him and Levine. They did give up Wendell Carter, but like I'm going to take the All-Star over a promising center any day of the week, especially in this situation with such a tight conference. Then the Heat are just loading up. They want another championship run, 100%.
Of course, I mean, you get LaMarcus Aldridge, you get who else did
Victor Oladipo.
So two big all-stars right there with Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. So you got a good five.
You can't think about Goran Dragic either. Goran Dragic, I mean, their starting five is going to be really good. They got Goran Dragic. You have, I'd probably put Jimmy at the, I'd put Oladipo at the 2, Duncan at the 3, Jimmy at the 4, and then Bam at the 5. Bam Adebayo. Forgot about him too.
Oh my God, I forgot that Bam. So you get like a good bench. You get Aldridge off the bench.
Hero off the bench.
So you got a shooter. You got another big man to help out. So
I mean, the Heat are going to be good. I think they are the biggest winners of the trade deadline. Another big deal that didn't happen was Kyle Lowry. You know, the Raptors were pushing him all week, all season really. They want him out. Like, he's old. He's done his thing with the Raptors. He's probably a top 5 player in their franchise history. He won a championship with them. Wanted to put him to the Sixers. Didn't go through. I thought it would have been a good fit. What do you think about that?
I definitely think if he would have went to the Sixers definitely have a bigger championship run team. I mean, their team's already good. You know, you got MVP Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons is playing great. Danny Green is actually shooting well for once. Curry, and they got guys on the bench. You got Shake Milton,
Dwight Howard.
Korkmaz, Dwight Howard. So that team's pretty stacked already. And if they would have got Kyle, that's another asset. Then you can put like Kyle at the 1. You can put like Ben at like the 4, the 2 there. No, put Ben at the 4. You can put like Curry at the 2. Tobias Harris
at the 3, and then Embiid at the 5, and that's a championship roster right there. A championship starting 5.
I mean, Tobias Harris has been playing great. I mean, that guy is just a baller. He had like a game winner, I think, last week. So yeah, that team is stacked. But if they would have got Kyle, it would have even be more stacked than it was already.
Yeah. I mean, the Magic were big sellers this off season. They traded Nikola Vucevic to the Bulls, Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets, another big deal, and they traded Evan Fournier. I want to say, I gotta find this. I forgot where Evan Fournier went, but they traded Evan Fournier, like the 3 best players. They trade him. What do you think about the Aaron Gordon trade to the Nuggets?
Well, that's definitely one for the Nuggets there.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the West already. They have the MVP most likely on their team because every other candidate is getting hurt. Like,
yeah,
like LeBron's hurt, Embiid's got hurt, and Jokic has been like through it the entire time. Then they have Jamal Murray. Add in like an Aaron Gordon to that situation. It's looking pretty good because Aaron Gordon's been shooting great from 3 this year, and he's also still like one of the most athletic players in the league. So I think he's going to be a really, really good third option in Denver.
Of course, and then definitely got routed the contest like twice too. So like,
yeah,
he definitely got a chip on his shoulder. But Fournier went to the Celtics, so that's who got him. So who did the Celtics have? They have Kemba,
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Then they have like Robert Williams, who's a good center. Peyton Pritchard's had a pretty good season. But I like that fit a lot, actually. I don't know where he's gonna fit in the lineup, but like a shooter like Fournier, I hate Evan Fournier so much, first of all, because every time he plays the Knicks, he just goes off. Like, he'll hit like 7 threes in a row, and just like they'll come back to the game, and then it's like you have to stress down the stretch. And I think that he'll make a really good addition to the Celtics. So, you know, a shooter like that coming off the bench, I think would be really good.
Definitely great help. Then you got Cav sent McGee to the Nuggets, so there you got another center to help out. You got Jokic, you have JaVale off the bench, and even Bobo, who's starting to play again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't see Bobo a lot, but I mean, that when he does play, he does make moves. I mean, the other day, behind the back, drive down the lane, finish. I think it was an and one. So Bobo, JaVale, and Jokic. That's 3 bigs right there that you got with Aaron and Jamal on that team. So they can definitely make a run in the playoffs as well. But it's not.
We also had no Andre Drummond trade before the deadline, and then they agreed to a buyout today or yesterday. But where do you think he goes, and where do you think he would fit well? Because he was a pretty big name around, like coming up in a ton of rumors. So you never know what's gonna happen. I think that I see 2 places really. I think he could sign with the Knicks for sure. And I know he put a list out today, but I could definitely see him signing with the Knicks. And I could see him signing with the Nets too, which is super annoying. But
I mean, yeah, it says potentially destination is the Knicks. I'd have to agree with that. I don't know about if he would sign with the Nets. I definitely think a better fit would be the Knicks.
yeah, I mean, I like Andre Drummond a lot. I think that he needs to finish his layups more. He's like the worst shot maker when he takes so many shots, but he rebounds the ball really well. Like, he's always played really good defense. So he'd probably be a really good fit with Tom Thibodeau in the Knicks defense.
And then we got some losers here for trades. I mean, the Lakers, you get absolutely no one really.
And they crucially needed somebody with LeBron and AD out.
Definitely, for sure. And then the Clippers, I mean, you trade away Lou Williams, you get Rajon Rondo.
I think that's a good move, actually. I wouldn't call him a loser. I think that the Clippers want to make a playoff run this offseason or whatever, the playoffs. And Rondo's been there. He was on the Lakers last year. He's a great point guard. Always has been. And I think he can come in and lead like that second unit or first unit, whatever they need him to do.
Definitely agree then.
Yeah.
I feel like the Hawks definitely won that trade though.
Yeah, I mean Lou Wills. And they got picks, right? I think they got Lou Williams.
They got Lou Williams and I think 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it to him, but I think both sides won it for different reasons.
Yep, Lou Williams, 2 second-round picks. So definitely, I think the bigger winner is definitely the Hawks here, as they're trying to make a run to the playoffs. But the Clippers getting Rondo does help out with like a veteran type team.
Definitely.
I mean, in tallying the trade deadline yesterday, there was 16 trades for 23 teams and 46 roster players. That's the most ever in the past 35 years on the deadline day. So a lot has happened yesterday.
What about the Raptors did trade one of their people who they were had on block. They traded Norman Powell to the Blazers in exchange for Gary Trent and Rodney Hood. I think the Raptors won this.
I agree.
I mean, Gary Trent is so good and he's so young. I think he came out of Duke 2 years ago. I watched him in person one time and he is legit. Like, he's one of the best shooters I've ever seen in person. And you have Rodney Hood, also a really good player, always been a super good scorer. What do you think about this?
I think I agree with you as well. I think it's a great trade out there and great opportunity for him. And then lastly, I'm thinking the big winner here is Lonzo Ball staying in New Orleans. Doesn't get traded. I mean, he's been playing after the trade talks with Lonzo. I think he's been playing way better. He's team chemistry's up there. Been playing great. So I think that's a big win for him and definitely a win for the Pelicans.
I think it's a win for the Pelicans for now. I think Lonzo walks in free agency though. I think pretty sure he's a free agent this summer. I think he walks. I really wanted Lonzo Ball to be a Knick. I mean, he fits so well in the city just because his name literally, and he also plays super good. But I think the Lonzo Ball would be a great fit for the Knicks.
But that's what we have for this segment. Our last segment of the day will be NFL talks.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Zach Wilson's pro day, bro.
Oh my God.
You see that one throw?
Yeah, he was acting up. Definitely gonna make his stock go up.
Okay, he's the second pick, I think. He's gonna be a Jet. Can't wait. This is the last segment, right?
Yeah. We're back with our last segment here talking about the NFL, and we're gonna start off talking about Zach Wilson and his pro day. I mean, that guy just showed up and showed out. Definitely gonna help him with the stock here. Definitely, I definitely think he's better than Fields. Definitely number 2 guy in the draft. Definitely the second best quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence, of course.
I agree. I mean, I've been high on Zach Wilson for months. I saw his Coastal Carolina game, and then I saw the bowl game against UCF, and he makes really, really, really good throws, like NFL ready throws. He could come in. He reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. He's shorter. Like obviously he's not going to be Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
but like the throws that he makes like off balance, just like chucks him up in the air, and then people catch him, and you just don't know how it happens. But I think he goes number 2 to the Jets, and I really, 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 really hope he goes number 2 to the Jets because I'll be so happy. You see the one throw he made at his pro day today? It was all over Instagram.
Rolled out to the left. Just threw that. Oh
off
my God!
one leg, and then it was a dime right in the hands. It was perfect. So, I think he had a great pro day. And then also another picture circulating around the internet is Joe Douglas and him having a little chat. Yeah, I think that Zach Wilson definitely improved his trade value though today.
Oh, of course. I mean, I watched that Coastal game too. I mean, definitely showed toughness there. I mean, got bodied the one play, threw that pick at the end of the half, got just destroyed by those 2 guys. I mean, they were coming at Zach's head, but he showed resilience. He showed grit and grind, and then played well. I mean, they came up short as a team. I blame that honestly on his receiver. I mean, he had a 2nd and 10. Throws a 3-yard out. The dude runs 16 yards backwards. It's 3rd and 30 at this point. You're losing the game, and just it went downhill from there. But other than that, I think Zach Wilson is a great player. Definitely can see him at the Jets.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Jets, I mean, Corey Davis signed with the Jets, and he's talking. He said he wants Sam Darnold to be the quarterback there. He wants to play for Sam.
I think that's just like, it's like just respectfulness, you know. He didn't say he wants to play for Sam. He said he signed here. Sam Darnold's the starting quarterback right now, which is true. Like right now, Sam Darnold's the starting quarterback. I don't think he'll be the starting quarterback week 1, but he very well could be. Besides Zach Wilson's pro day today, though, we had a lot of shakeups in the NFL draft. Like we had the 49ers go from 12 up to 3 with the Dolphins.
Dolphins are at 6 now. The
Dolphins,
Eagles are at 12.
Yeah, so the Dolphins went back to 12 then, and then an hour later you get a trade saying the Eagles are trading back with the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are going to 6. So I think this means one thing for each team.
I mean, the mock draft here, it had the Eagles getting Kyle Pitts at 6, so I don't know what happens with that now. I mean, I think the Dolphins still at 6 get the O tackle from Oregon. The 49ers, they move up to 3, so we don't know who they'll take there.
I would go with, I think the 49ers go quarterback. I think that's what it shows. I'm assuming, and this is why I also think the Jets are going to take Wilson, just boost my confidence about it. The 49ers are going to call the 2 first and try and jump up and take somebody. But I don't think Joe Douglas wants to go back. And I think that if he was offered 2 firsts and a 3rd, he probably would have done it and just picked the 12 and taken a Kyle Pitts or Jalen Waddle, a good receiver. But I mean, the 49ers definitely want a quarterback. I don't know what that's going to mean for Jimmy G. They'll probably have their eyes set on Trey Lance because maybe Justin Fields. I don't know. But for the Dolphins, I think it means they go receiver because why trade back and then trade back up? It's like a spot where you can get a Jamar Chase or a Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, someone like that. I think they go receiver because they got to get 2 weapons, man.
Definitely.
Or Deshaun Watson, whoever comes in. But and then the Eagles at 12, I think it just shows that they don't want to win now.
I mean, they literally tanked last season. Could have beat Washington. Take Fields. Not Fields. Takes Hurst out in that game. Put in McCown. Is that their
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown.
Yeah.
Put in Josh McCown. Clearly, they're tanking that game. Dallas fans weren't happy about that. They did this for a 6 pick just to move back to 12. So clearly the Eagles just don't want to win, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
it's looking bad. And then you just pick up Joe Flacco, and he's talking about being the starting quarterback there. So a lot of controversy in Philly, of course. So we'll see how that ends up there.
I can tell you from first experience, Joe Flacco is not the best mentor.
Oh, no.
Sam Darnold only regrets when he was with him. With Josh McCown, he played well, but yeah, I don't know how Jalen Hurts is going to do with Joe Flacco behind him.
No.
And like you said, it just shows the Eagles don't want to win. It's weird. I don't know why, but they don't want to win or try and win. Like, you get the 6th pick, you're saying you're looking at a quarterback when you have a rookie quarterback that just played great this season in his limited time. So you're like you give him a shot and you take like a receiver or a tackle that will help him out, and they just no interest at all.
I mean, you should have kept that 6th pick. So you're right. Hurst played well last season, and you're right. They should have kept that 6th pick. Get a Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle type guy. Give Tua some more threats. I mean, who are the receivers out there? You don't really have any. You don't have. I mean, I think they have one rookie receiver last year.
The Dolphins.
The Eagles.
Or the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles had Jalen Reagor last year. The one dude, he went off in fantasy. I forgot what his name is. He had a really good fantasy week, like 2 weeks in a row. But he was there, and then. But I mean, either way, like, they passed up on Justin Jefferson last year to take Jalen Reagor. You have an easy chance at number 6 to take the best wide receiver in the draft.
Or even Kyle Pitts, who's
it was
wide receiver,
the best
tight end
receiver
hybrid
in the class, like just pure receiver based. Like Kyle Pitts might be better than Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, like anybody. He might be the best receiver, but like you're the best. We'll say best playmaker. How about that? You have the chance to take the best playmaker in the draft at 6. After last year, you passed up on the best playmaker in the draft. One pick before you take Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the Eagles are doing, but
the Eagles have been making bad decisions for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
You missed Justin Jefferson. You missed DK Metcalf. I mean, who did they draft over DK? I think who did they draft over DK 2 years ago?
I don't know. That was 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Let me look it up real quick.
Because they missed 2 opportunities. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, you're just it's crazy. I don't know. The Eagles drafted J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. That's who it was in the 2nd round. I remember him. He's a slot receiver. I think he's still there, but like, it's just so confusing to me. I just don't understand it.
Draft him over DK, and then the 1st round last year, you drafted Jalen Reagor instead of getting Justin Jefferson. Now, I mean, what were they thinking there? Terrible decision. Justin Jefferson clearly is the better receiver.
Yeah, and everybody in that draft thought that the Eagles were going to take Justin Jefferson, and they didn't.
I think they traded up for that too, and just didn't take him.
And they just didn't take him. They took Jalen Reagor, and everybody was so shocked because they could have just stayed. Then they took Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round, which was just confusing because they had Carson Wentz. I don't know. The Eagles got a lot of work to do. Definitely a lot of trades, a lot of movement going on today. I really hope the Jets take Zach Wilson at number 2. But that's going to be the end of the show, and you guys can listen live anytime at cougarradio.net. You can follow us on Instagram and give us a like on Facebook at Cougar Radio. Subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify to watch and listen to all our podcasts.
And that's all we have for today. We're going to be back Monday due to Good Easter on Friday next week. So we'll see you Monday, ready for another show, ready to talk about more in March, and we'll see what you got for you there. So we'll catch you then.